Epic Gaming Night is sponsored by Tasty Minstrel Games. Make sure to check out the Tasty Minstrel podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. This podcast is made possible by the support of patrons like you. Thanks for your support. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Canny, and with me as always is Matt.
Hello.
And Rob.
Hello, hello.
We had a bunch of people asking last week where Matt was. They said they missed the beard.
Yeah, man,
Where's
work.
Matt at? And
That's all I do.
we're like
work.
in retail hell. That's where he's at. No, I'm just kidding.
Good times.
Hype. Already got Krista, Mark, Kale in chat. They don't play around.
They don't. Well, Mark's got nothing else to do with his life.
Oh, no. Mark gets it every week. Hey, I appreciate you, Mark.
Somebody has to.
Well, this week we're talking all about our top 10 games of 2017. Hype. But before we get into that, I've got a couple things on the news. I don't know if you guys had anything interesting besides that you want to talk about. But one thing that I really want to talk about that they announced last week was the Lord of the Rings LCG from Fantasy Flight. They're actually making this into a digital game. They're doing it through Fantasy Flight Interactive or whatever their new company is. It's supposed to be all about digital. Their first big announcement is that they're coming out with the Lord of the Rings LCG on Steam. So that should be interesting because there's lots of games like Hearthstone and like Magic Online and stuff like that, but this is the first like cooperative card game of that sort. And it looks
on
pretty
Steam?
cool. Yeah, that's what they said, is that's going to be coming out onto the computers is the main thing that's going to be coming out onto. Interesting.
Yeah. I just assumed it would go with the mobile release. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll go to that eventually, but
yeah.
This is what they're starting with. And it looks like, I don't know if they're going to have the same sort of releases like they had with the Lord of the Rings LCG, but it'll definitely be interesting to learn more about the game as it goes along. Because I really enjoyed the Lord of the Rings game. It's completely cooperative, so that makes it super interesting. And it'd be cool to have a cooperative game that you could play with other people online, that you could still do the whole deck building and like work together sort of thing. So I'm very interested in seeing if it takes off and if it's a very good implementation. The screenshots that they have online look pretty cool, but it definitely looks like they were mimicking sort of like a Hearthstone-y vibe with the way the cards and stuff look and everything. But that is the Lord of the Rings LCG. Did you see this? Have either of you guys played the Lord of the Rings LCG?
No.
I know I have like a ton of it, but I was just like, I haven't messed with it a whole lot because it's so hard to keep up with those LCGs that I just like, I played the quests I had and I kind of fell behind. And I'm just like, I'm not going to buy super old stuff. But yeah, definitely a good game, and it's actually pretty fun solo.
Sweet. It sounds great.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they bring more of their LCGs online and stuff like that, or if they have stuff like Destiny that ends up going online. That would be interesting. Very interesting. The other thing in the news that I want to talk about is a Restoration Game announced that they're making a map expansion for Downforce called Danger Circuit. It's also going to have some new like special abilities and stuff like that for your racers and everything. But Downforce is a cute little game where you're just betting on the different cars, and it'll be cool to have different map setups. So I think it's cool that
it came out this year.
Not only are they restoring games, they are also like continuing to support
Expanding
the
them.
games they restore, which is pretty cool that they're making that happen with that company. So yeah. Did you guys have any other things that you had seen in the news? I was trying to scrounge around to see like what's new and what's coming up, and
I've been busy with work and then with family coming in for the holidays this weekend and stuff. So
It's definitely about the
unless it was
time of year.
something Kickstarter wise, um, did
That's
not seem
literally
to.
what I was just gonna say. I was like, yeah, man, I've just been buying knives on Kickstarter.
Another thing that I saw that I just thought of that I thought was pretty interesting. Did you guys see that the Cool Mini or Not game Hate is going to be like Kickstarter exclusive? Like the game is going to be Kickstarter exclusive. Did you guys hear that?
I felt like I've seen it in their like press releases, but I just didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah. So
Hey, real quick, Dave Doggle, does vieja mean older? So you're saying good night and later good night? Sorry, I know. And some people in chat are saying they can barely hear you, Roy.
oh man, I can try to be louder. Let me get this thing in my mouth. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. What do you guys think?
Man,
Is that,
that's a line for the take out of context master cut right there. I'll try to fit this thing in my mouth.
Oh, hey man, I got a
you gotta
cool
do with the microphones, man. Sometimes you got to.
I got a cool
right
shirt,
there.
Matt.
Do you?
Can you see this?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Describe it to everyone, Rob, for
Matt, can
those
you see
audio
it?
listeners.
Hang on, let me. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
For those listening, it is a shirt of 11 from Stranger Things force choking Darth Vader.
Nice.
Boom.
Boom.
No, Noche Buena is 25th of this. Noche Buena is 25th of December, Christmas Day. I thought it was like Feliz Navidad. Oh, Noche Vieja. Vieja is new. I thought it. I guess, yeah, it's all right. The feminine aspect threw me off on it. So dope.
So
All right.
So,
Sweet.
So I did want to
Actually-
ask you guys what you guys think of Kickstarter exclusive board games where like you only have a chance to get it, or maybe they'll run multiple Kickstarters like they've done with Gloomhaven,
That's
or the fact
That's
that
exactly what I think they'll end up doing. I think they'll run Hate, and then I think they'll do what they're doing with Zombicide, where they'll run seasons of it or expansions and stuff like that. So they're like, guys, check it out, Hate, and then Hate the expansion pack with new
and
maps.
they'll
And
still allow you to get the core
this thing-
stuff. You think?
Yeah.
Or
I think they'll do it that way because I feel like they get more sales in that lump sum from just doing Kickstarter and like bumping the hype and going, hey guys, guess what? We made 5 million, woo, or whatever,
Yeah.
as opposed to putting it out retail and going, hey guys, we made 300,000, woo, you know.
yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know.
Could
I don't know
also
if I'm going to
be an
get that.
experiment.
I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I would like to learn more about the game and like how the mechanics and stuff work.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Well,
I'm sure
it
the minis
looks
are going to be
cool,
amazing.
but the IP and everything, like the game is like hate. Like, okay, like
Yeah.
what are we mad at? Like, who stubbed their toe?
Why can't they
We
be?
gotta-
Why can't we make a game called Love? Why can't we
Right,
be
or
a little bit
something like
more
that, where it's just-
positive?
yeah.
Come on, guys.
So,
Chill out with the
I mean,
hate.
I don't know. It's just like, it's the other reason why I didn't get the others. I wanted to get the others, but the IP of like the 7 Deadly Sins and other stuff like that, it's like, all right, I don't need a reminder that I'm fat with gluttony and stuff like that. Like, the mirror does that already. So it's just like, okay. So I don't know.
See, when I think of you, I don't think gluttony. I just think of lust. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Right? That's right, baby. But here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Kickstarter exclusive games. Like, if that's how they want to do it, sure.
Yeah.
That's their prerogative. And if they have good success doing it, great. I will say, outside of Cool Mini or Not Expo, this year, I can't think of a game that I bought of theirs that was not on Kickstarter.
Yeah. They've come out with a bunch too, but I haven't heard a ton about them and haven't seen them all over the place. I know they've come
Yeah.
out with several different ones. I'd like to try them, but I just haven't heard a ton of buzz about their games. So the ones that they just regularly release,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting because I know they came out with one that's like a detective one. I forgot what it was called, but it's like everybody has these like murder cards behind a board and you're trying to ask questions to figure out what the cards are that are in front of your board, based off of what other people can see. And I saw that game at Gen Con, but like I haven't really heard about it like anywhere. So I think they have a bunch of interesting stuff, but I don't know if it's getting out there or if it's not having the mass appeal that these giant Kickstarter games they do have.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I would agree.
Cool. So now we can talk about what we've been playing. Matt, did you get? I know you got a few awesome games in. Did you get a chance to like mess with those?
Me and Hector and AJ adventured into the world of Dinosaur Island.
I was hoping. You guys got
Oh
to
my
play
gosh, how was that?
I want to play.
Yeah, sorry, couldn't make it, man. I know you invited me and stuff. I'm sorry, couldn't make it.
To be fair, what I thought was going to happen was Hector was like, "Hey, man, I'm punching out Gloomhaven. If you guys just want to come hang out, drink some beers, and then just punch out games." And I was like, okay, cool. So I literally just brought my stack of games that needed to be punched out, and I was like, let's do this. And Hector's like, nah, dude, let's play Dinosaur Island. And I was like, okay. So we literally sat around, punched that game out, and then played it.
Does your expansion have the Pogs in it?
Yeah, maybe. There's like a bunch of random cardboard pieces
Like
that I
this-
think are supposed to be the Pogs
Gotcha.
that have no purpose in the game. There's a lot of extemporaneous cardboard in that box that has like no purpose. It's just there, and I'm like, okay, all right, yep, that's cool. There's just like random little chits that have like 90 sayings, like "You go, girl," and like "I'll snap" and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, neat, I guess.
That's awesome.
But I'm trying to withhold judgment from the game because the version we played was a short game by the game's sort of predefined standard. So you can play a short, a medium, or a long game based off what sort of achievements that you're shooting for that kind of bring about the end of the game. But from what I noticed, I like it. It's interesting. It is a very dry Euro, though.
What? Dinosaur Island?
Yeah.
No, don't say that, man.
Dude.
It was on my wanna play list.
Well, I mean, you can play it and we can see how it feels. Like it has a lot of theme there. It has a lot of theme there, but I feel like one of the things that I was having an issue with was where I was placing things in my park didn't really have too much of a real impact. So I guess the tile laying portion of it was a bit, I guess, lackluster for me because it's just hey, put this down somewhere. And if you don't have room, you can't put it in your park. And you're like, oh, well, whatever. And then
Off the list.
It feels like it's one of those.
I've heard great things about it. Do you have to get like different types of dinosaurs or?
Nope, not at all.
Don't defend it. It's off the list.
Still on my list.
It's, I don't know. I want to play a longer game because the short game, I only had 2 or 3 different types of dinosaurs in my park, and I hadn't built any other attractions. It was literally just like a zoo for dinosaurs that sold hats.
Nice.
And like that was sort of it. And we got a couple of the rules wrong, but we rectified that after the fact. So I know playing it again will get things right, and maybe it'll be a little bit better. All in all, it's not a bad game, but it's definitely more Euro-y than I would have liked for something that looks that flashy and that cool. But that said, it's not a bad Euro at all. It just sort of, I feel like it has a lot going on, but none of it really stands out. Like none of it shines, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like there's no part of it that I can like hold up and be like, man, okay, so this is a solid mechanic. This is really cool. It's just very, hey, this is a Euro game with crazy neon colors and a slap band and like all this cool stuff. So like it comes with a bunch of cool stuff. It's really fun to play. The artwork is super cool. There's a lot of neat homages to different 90s things and like, you know, sort of indirect movie quotes and all that stuff. And it's really neat to kind of explore all the cards and all the different stuff that's there.
It's very much just getting dinosaurs get points.
Yeah, it's basically just there are objectives that trigger the end of the game, and when all of the objectives but one are met, that's the last round, so everybody gets to finish out their turn, and then that's it. And it's just like, okay, cool, all right. So you don't really you don't really play to do anything neat or to try and do stuff. Like, I understand that you could probably do a whole lot in the theater of the mind where you're like, yeah, dude, this is really cool. This is great. But I don't know. For me, it is okay. It's not bad. It's not great. I'm going to hesitate to say it's
memorable
good.
Stories for you.
Yeah. I'm going to hesitate to say it's good until I play a longer version, because the version we played was the short version, and I think it took us like an hour to go through it, maybe. That's not
rougher the first time you play.
Yeah, so I'm assuming the other times we go through it, it's just like, oh no, somebody in my park got eaten, jeez, and it's, it gets a little crazier there. But
like, oh man,
yeah, that was actually one of the things that I wasn't keen on. Like, the more dinosaurs and stuff you add to this threat bar that kind of increases each round, and so you're like, okay, cool, I got to keep up with this threat bar with like my security level, otherwise people get eaten, and it's like, that's really bad. But like, it ends up just becoming everything you do is increasing the security, or at least that's how I felt in my first game, where you're basically sitting there and you're like, okay, I want to do this, okay, I've got to increase my security this many spots. All right, cool, security's up. Now I can do the cool thing done. That gets me to excitement. Yeah. And you're just like, all right, well. But yeah, I don't know. It's not bad.
It sounds exciting.
I think you'll be excited, Rob, if I pull it out and set it down and you're like, dude, this looks crazy cool.
It looks gorgeous. That's one of the reasons why I put it on my list. I love the highlights. Yeah. I love the idea behind it of making Jurassic Park. I want the threat level type of an issue. However, if it's just almost like a worker placement, like, all right, this guy goes here, this guy goes there. I don't know.
So, okay, let me give you a base overview of how it plays. It plays in 5 different phases.
Yeah.
The first phase, what you do is you take your 3 scientists and you assign them a task. So your tasks are generate... It's not even that. You have a certain number of dice that you roll, and these dice have different DNA components on them.
Yeah.
And then you set those out. And anytime somebody places one of their scientists at a place, unless it has another spot, nobody can place anything else there. So you end up in a situation where you're picking dice for what you think you need to build dinosaurs, or you're trying to... Maybe you need more workers, so you pass your turn, you get a scientist back. You can research different things, like you can research different dinosaurs to pull out into your park. And there's a couple other things that you can do with it, because the way your DNA works is there's a cold storage limit on your DNA until you increase it. So you can put your scientists there to increase limits, and that's
the cold storage DNA, like in the movie with the Newman guy.
Yeah, basically.
The shaving cream.
You have so much you can store, and at the start of the game, it's not a lot at all. So you have to increase all that. Then phase 2, you go into the market phase where you're building or buying stuff. So you're looking and saying, okay, do I want to buy... I can buy upgrades for my lab. I can buy upgrades for my park. I can buy new attractions. I can hire specialists that might give me more different things to do with my workers. Stuff like that. Then comes phase 3, where you place all of your workers to do what you want them to do. So you can either like generate dinosaurs, or exchange some DNA types for a different type of DNA. You can upgrade your security level. You can build just a bunch of different stuff. And you have to sort of place those accordingly, because those have worker placement limits. Some of them are unlimited. You can buy different like lab or worker upgrades that add different things that might be a little bit better. And then once you do that, you can move on to the park phase, where you generate people to come in, which is based off your excitement levels. So whatever your excitement level is, that many people line up to get in the park. They all pay you, and then you try to place them in the park. And then at the end of it, you just kind of go through and go, all right, well, let's see if anything bad happens. And if your threat level is over your security level, the people get eaten based off what the difference is.
Gotcha.
Is there a threat level midnight?
No, it just keeps going up infinitely.
Threat level midnight. That's homage to The Office.
Oh. I've never watched that show.
You don't watch The Office?
It's too awkward for me, man.
There are a couple of episodes now, looking back, where I have to skip them. Like when I do my Netflix binges, I have to skip a couple of episodes, because they are too awkward. But yeah, sorry.
Nice.
Threat level midnight. That's all I've been thinking about. I was like, what is that? Threat level midnight. What is that? So I'm with you now.
Hype. So,
yeah,
sounds
Dinosaur Island.
It would be cool to play it again. I thought that it would end up being like Zoo Loretto with dinosaurs, where you're just placing them and trying to get points off of it, pretty much. But more.
See, that was what I was thinking, because there's an Adult Swim like Flash game called like Dinosaur Park or something like that, where you're trying to like build enclosures for dinosaurs and like keep them happy. And I thought it was going to be something like that, where you're having to balance like this whole like tile lane mechanic, and it was going to be really interesting. And like if things got out of hand, it would compound that way. But it's very much sort of.
Do you not get bonus points based off the placement of the dinosaurs in your park?
Nope.
Huh. Interesting. Well, then it's not like Zoo Loretto with dinosaurs, because Zoo Loretto is all about like where you place your different animals.
If there is something for that, I missed it in the rules, and I missed any sort of like inclination on the tiles that indicates that. It's basically just put the tile wherever you want to, and you, as long as you can put it somewhere, you can do it. Yay!
That's not so fun.
So. I mean, like I said, I want to play a longer game because there's different goals that you're trying to shoot for to end the game, and then there's some plot twist cards that change things up a little bit. The ones we were playing with seem very early game or very first game friendly. Like they gave you more workers, which made the game go faster than it should have. And then it took out hooligans, which come into your park but don't pay you, and they also get eaten last because they're very sneaky.
Are hooligans.
They're just jumping the fence.
It'd be awesome if the hooligans like tried to steal the dinosaurs.
Dude, see, like that's what I'm talking about. If it had just like a little more things sprinkled into it, I think it would be solid, top tier. But for right now, from what I played in that first game that was very short, it was sort of very dry.
Would you say it's a top 10 of the year for you?
We're not to that point yet.
Currently, it sits in my list because I could not find 10 games that I've played that have come out in 2017.
Yes. Bro, you played a bunch of games that have come out in 2017. Did you not go to Board Game Geek?
No.
Sagrada came out this year.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Ships came out this year.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get there.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Rob, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I'll go really quickly. That's what she said. Another The Office reference. So I went to a Rune Wars tournament this weekend. I got to watch Roy play. That was a lot of fun.
That's not my fault.
No. I went to a tournament. I only got to stay for like a couple games anyway. The dice were not my friend. I had what I consider to be a really cool setup. And I got to use my setup every single time, every single round. But I just could not hit anybody. I literally, probably out of 40 rolls, killed one guy doing the setup that I wanted to do. So that was not so fun. But Rune Wars, the miniatures game, it's a lot of fun. You've heard us talk about it before, so I won't get into it. It's not the store's fault. We went to Atomic Empire. The store is actually a fun store. It's a great store. I like the setup and everything that they have to offer. So that's a good spot.
First time going.
But it has not been like the week or weekend for me for games and luck because Roy and Trevor and myself, we played a quick game of Star Trek Ascendancy. The game should not be quick. That should tell you something right there. We played a quick game of Star Trek Ascendancy. I've never played the game before, and I played with Trevor and I played with Roy. So did not expect to win since they played multiple times. But first time I ever play a game like that, I never expect to win anyway. I just want to go and learn the game. I will say this. Well, the Borg kind of just the Borg took me over. So I was the Klingons, and the Klingon, you're supposed to like make a lot of ships. From my interpretation, you make a lot of ships, you attack a lot of stuff. I only got one production the whole time with all my exploring. One production for that game is terrible, especially since I explored like 4 or 5 other planets. I mean, it was several planets. I explored other planets, and only my home world had production.
That's right.
And so I could not make any ships. And at first, I was like, I'm not gonna treaty with anybody. I'm just gonna attack everybody, be stupid, not expect to win, gonna have a lot of fun, blah blah blah. And then I saw the Borg started to move, right? And so Roy was like, "Hey Rob, if you partner with me, I will fund you. I will give you the money you need. You just fight the Borg for me." And I'm like, "Sweet." And then Trevor started speaking. And Trevor for a second turned into Mark Cale. Just didn't listen. I mean, Roy turned into Mark Cale. Didn't listen to me anymore, was completely fixated on Trevor. So Roy became Mark and Trevor became Roy, and that love relationship blossomed and flurried.
Hey, can I say that Rob was talking about how he was going to kill me and everything, and then I tried to talk Rob into like allying with me, but he has this smirk on his face, like he's like, "Yeah, I'll ally with you for now." So he was just super shady
I had
about
the smirk
it.
on my face at
so
the
I
beginning.
was just like,
but then once
I don't know
my
if
third
I should
planet came out,
like help out
the
Rob.
third planet came out, and I could not get any more production. I was like, "All right, man, I'll treaty with you." And by that time, Trevor had made it close, and Roy was like, yeah, sure, I'll treaty with you. Yeah, we'll trade. And then Trevor started speaking, and then Roy totally forgot who
Roy,
it
you should
was.
come over here and help me. And I'm like, well, what do you say about that, Rob? And Rob's like, I don't know. I just like, okay, fine.
So, anyway, it was rough. It was not.
I will
say this. I actually liked the game.
So I had to trade to like do anything.
Well, yeah, because I couldn't build anything. Like outside of my starting ships that I built, I only built like I think 4 other ships, and you start off with 3 production. Mm-hmm. And I think by turn 3, Trevor and Roy both had like 12 ships. And I had nothing.
I had to focus on building ships because the Borg teleported right beside my home system, and if I did, like, me and Trevor had to basically. Me and Trevor allied, so we joined together, but then immediately the Borg was on my doorstep. So we had to work together to fight off the Borg, or I was immediately going to be assimilated, and then I was going to go kill Trevor, which would have been interesting. But we were able to get enough ships so that we fought off that Borg, but then they just kept coming. It was just like Borg ship after Borg ship. So we're basically just sitting there, like trying to fight off these Borg ships. So, and you had time to start stuff, Rob. You just got very poor luck on the planet.
Oh, I had plenty of time. I just couldn't get production. So, and then you need to use production to build the other stuff to be able to.
So it made it hard to build anything.
Stuff. So I just sat there, and my turns on average were about 30 seconds.
Honestly, if you had been like, Roy, I'll still ally with you, I would have allied with you too, and just given both of you.
No, because at that point I was just like pissed. I was like, screw you. You were supposed to ally with me. We were supposed to do this. And Trevor just started batting his eyes.
Ally with Trevor doesn't mean
Roy's
I can't
like,
ally with you.
"Oh, Trevor, I love you." And then they just went off and made out in the corner. It was really weird and uncomfortable because Roy's kids started calling Trevor Mom. And I was like, whoa, that's weird.
You were supposed to fly into my system or fly and connect over to the stuff, but then your ship blew up. So it's just kind of like, oh, well, okay, well, that's sad.
Yeah. Anyway,
and you're trying to connect a planet, and there was like this much space, like less than an inch of space, or it would have connected.
Well, and then here's the other thing. So they pull a card. Now, granted, I've never played before, and so they're going to screw over the guy who's never played before. Roy pulls a card, and he takes one of my ships, or he could have taken one of Trevor's, but he takes one of my ships.
No, I had to take your ship because you're the one that pulled the card that made it randomly pop up somewhere.
Oh, Q. Okay, but you could have like done it to help me. What does Roy do? He attaches my ship to the Borg homeworld.
I thought that was something.
So it's like, okay,
that is exactly what Q does,
right?
He shows you the Borg. That is like how Q works.
No,
don't you know Star Trek?
No, his card says you can add it to any other location outside of that
I was
location.
just trying to be thematic to the Star Trek narrative, because that's what Q does. Is he introduces you to the Borg. It's just how it goes.
Anyway,
right?
I played the game in about 7 minutes. It was a lot of fun. Crystal, you're amazing. Have a great night at trivia. Anyway, I do want to play Star Trek Ascendancy again. I like the idea of what it could be, but it did not work for me. I mean, literally, when you're playing, we played for about an hour and a half, and I played for under 10 minutes if you count all my playtime. It was just kind of annoying. But I like the idea enough. I like the exploration enough. I also like how you can move the map around until they're all connected. I thought that was really cool.
Fun.
And so with all that going on, I thought, okay, like this is worth a second shot. It's not the game's fault. It's not like Roy or Trevor did anything to screw me over or anything. I mean, we're playing a competitive game where we're all for each other or for ourselves. It's just the tiles. Like I was pretty surprised because I think Roy, were you getting like 8 production a turn or like 9 production a turn?
I had myself set up for the last round. I was going to be getting 11 production a turn, which is insane.
I was getting 1.
Which is insane.
I was getting 1, which is based off of my home world.
But also Ferengi's ability is that they can turn any world into production, and they're trying to get as much as possible. So I basically just turned everything into production. So I was a little bit rich.
I wasn't. Anyway, fun game. Star Trek Ascendancy. That's why Roy, for those that are watching online tonight, he's got a Borg cube ship behind his head.
I hate the Borg, by the way.
I liked it.
They're cool.
I thought the Borg helped, especially for me, because it kept you guys preoccupied.
Like legit, it makes me legitimately scared in the game. Like that's what they do. It's like, man, these guys are gonna kill me.
So that was my question. Since you guys were playing with the Borg, was it not fully cooperative?
No, it's still one person racing to ascendancy, but you don't want the other people to get taken over by the Borg, because then like the Borg is actually like doing sentient things. Like they get to choose how the ships move, and they get to do the things with the Borg, and they can kind of like make it so the Borg is doing stuff better. But yeah, it's it makes the game sort of semi-cooperative because you don't want the Borg to take over your neighbors either, really, because then the Borg just screws you more. But you still are trying to beat them to get the amount of ascendancy you need to win. So you're still trying to get 5 ascendancy before they do.
Adam Sparks, here's the thing. I've played Zaya more than I've played Ascendancy.
I would buy Zaya.
I would buy Ascendancy.
What? Get out.
I don't care for Zaya.
Flip the table over.
I think Zaya is nice. I think it's a good game. But I just don't care for Zaya. And for Mark Cale, you are in no position to talk about winning or losing games at all in the chat or life. And Roy does beat me a lot, but I also beat Roy a lot at games, so it's fine. The thing that I like about playing with Roy, though, Mark, is it's actually competition. Like, I have to try. And granted, I have never played Star Trek Ascendancy before, and they had played a dozen times. And so, anyway. Good job, Mark.
For me, Adam, in between Star Trek Ascendancy and Zaya, it's not even close. I mean, Matt's played both too, right? I would go with Zaya every day of the week. I want to play Zaya. But yeah.
I would go with Zaya too, but I think it really, honestly, Adam, depends on like what your preferred game style is. Like if you want a game that's sort of open world that you can explore and just kind of roll around and do whatever, and it feels maybe a little bit more casual and like you don't necessarily have to finish it. Like you can kind of say, all right, well, when we get to this point, we'll end, and then maybe you get to that point really fast and you're like, yeah, let's just keep going for a little bit and see how it goes. Whereas Ascendancy sort of feels like Space Risk, where it's just like, all right, let's just do this empire growing, occasional like large scale ship battle type things. And it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just very different. So I guess if you want to,
yeah, they're really hard to compare.
Or like game. Yeah. But I like Zaya because I like more 4X stuff, and it's less. I feel like it's going to be less competition, even though we're all going for the same goal. I feel like we're less likely to just get into knockout teardown fights where it's just like, and we're going to be here doing ship-to-ship combat for 3 hours.
And Zai, you can still do fun stuff when you're losing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ascendancy, if you're kind of like not getting the right thing, or you just keep blowing up your ships running into asteroid fields, you're just kind of, or not asteroid fields, but like the nebula things over and over again. You're just kind of like, well, everybody else is pulling way ahead of me because of luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
for me, I didn't play anything new. I played 2 of the games Rob talked about. Did the Rune Wars tournament, which was a lot of fun. Got smashed, but it was still a lot of fun. I enjoy that game even when I'm losing. So I think that means it's a sign of a good game, you know. And then Star Trek Ascendancy was crazy as always. And then I played Fallout again as well for a second time. And we actually finished a whole game of Fallout. We played the Fallout 3 version of the game that has like the Brotherhood and the Enclave. And I really enjoy the Fallout board game. It's definitely super exciting. I know I talked about it last week, but like once you've played it and you kind of know the game and you know the rules solidly, it just makes the game like really solid. The scoring is kind of interesting and random, but like you're racing to do these side quests to get extra things to get points, but then you're also trying to do the main mission to make the faction that you're kind of have the most points cards on get higher in the points so you can get higher. There was a series of events where like I found like Trevor had found a thing that gave us both Pip Boys or whatever, so we could go to the specific vault and then do special encounters there. And you randomly got 2 special encounters. You get special encounters equal to the number of players, and you put those in play. And there's like several different ones it could be, and we put those both out. And like it turns out that I was closer to that vault than he was, and those encounters were amazing. And I ended up doing both of them and getting like lots of awesome stuff from it. So it was a lot of fun, like getting to play the game, and we played it a whole lot faster. Turns were like zipping by, and we were just collecting items, collecting companions, fighting off raiders and rad roaches and all sorts of different bugs, and trying to run away from super mutants and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. So after a second look at Fallout, like I think it's a very enjoyable game, and I definitely want to play it more. But yeah, I already talked about that last week, so listen to that as well if you want to hear more about me talking about Fallout. That's all I played, just stuff I'd already played before. Hype. Cool. Well, I guess we can get into our top 10 games of 2017. But first I want to talk about the games that we didn't have a chance to play. So if you're wondering, well, Rob didn't talk about this game, or Roy didn't talk about this game, or Matt didn't talk about this game, what is a game or a couple games that you didn't get a chance to play that might have made your list if you had actually gotten a chance to play it? I know Rob has a few.
Here's my top 10. Here's my list of games that I played this year. Here's my list of all the games that I wish I had played.
Gotcha. What's the highlights from it? What's the cliff notes of like the really big ones that's like, this probably would have made my list if I had actually played it? What do you think?
I think Fallout would have made my list. I haven't got a chance to play that yet. There are a couple of these games that I own that I'm mad at myself that I haven't played them yet, but I wanted to play them, just hasn't come out to yet. The problem with a couple of these games on my want to play list, you guys wouldn't play them with me. I would need to play them with like your dad, Roy. Like I really, really, really want to play 878 Vikings, The Invasion of England. That just looks amazing to me. It looks like a lot of fun. Or also the Medieval Universale. That's the one that came with like over 1,000 miniatures. It plays like up to 9 people if you have all of the expansions and stuff like that. It's a huge game. It's like a Twilight Imperium style game. Where I mean like lengthwise. So I would want to play those. However, other games, I want to play this Warmine, Dice Forge. I also want to try Wasteland Express. I think that could be a good contender for me for Champions of Midgard. Champions of Midgard right now is probably my favorite worker placement style game. And from the things I've heard about Wasteland Express, it's a lot of pick up and deliver. but I like the theme. I like the artwork and stuff like that. It looks fun. Also, The Thing. The Thing probably would have made my list, and that's just from the IP. The game itself actually looks kind of bland, but from the IP, it looks really cool. And then the games that I own that I want to play, definitely King's Road, Bunny Kingdom, and Magic Maze. I really want to get Magic Maze to the table. That just looks fun. I'd love to play it with Mark, so that way he couldn't talk. Just sit there and just like, don't say anything, Mark. Yeah, Adam, we need to play.
But you better
Wasteland
go
Express
north.
together. But anyway, no, there's a bunch on this list. Like I also have Pandemic Legacy 2. I have TI 4.
Yeah.
I got a bunch. Civilization, Clank in Space.
Yeah, I think for me, one that I really want to play, I want to play the Wasteland Express or whatever. I think is one of the main ones that I really think I would enjoy if I got a chance to play it. I want to play the dinosaur game that Matt played, but now I'm not so sure. But hopefully.
Hey Matt, have you played Barren Park?
No, I have not.
Because it almost seems like Dinosaur Island is similar to Barren Park.
Mm-hmm.
You're building a park. I like the IP better, or the idea better for Dinosaur Island.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about Barren Park. So
okay,
I didn't know if that was something that was also on my want to play, but
I was
don't
going to
know
say
if you had that.
it's one of the games that I've heard about, but I haven't actually looked at it.
Yeah.
I would like to play a full game of the new Civilization. I like to play Dragonholt. You guys played it, and it looked like a ton of fun. I'd be interested to see how that game goes once you get deeper in, because it seems like there could be a lot of interesting stuff there. But yeah, what about you, Matt? Are there any games that you wish you'd played this year that came out?
I also have a short list. Wasteland Express delivery service. I own it. I haven't actually punched out all the cardboard yet. So you can definitely play that. I kind of want to play Gloomhaven since it's also in the stack over somewhere. But again, cardboard, lots of cardboard. Mm-hmm. Took Hector, I think, 2 hours to get everything punched out, and I was like, "Whoo, boy!" Also, I have Charterstone came in, so I want to play that with you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
Get the full 6 people in and get that going at some point in the new year. I think would be cool. I still haven't played First Martians, even though I own it. I think I know, Rob, you weren't too keen on it, but I still think it would be. It's something that I want to run through, even if I do it solo.
That's like I have all the scenario-based games.
Yeah, man. Speaking of scenario-based games, Pandemic Legacy Season 2 had it. We haven't had a chance to play it. I felt like there was one time that I might have been able to get one game in, and then luck had it that we weren't able to actually play it. Other than that, Photosynthesis, have it, haven't played it, want to play it. Clank in Space, have it, haven't played it, want to play it. Kingdom Death, have it, haven't played it. Codenames Duet, and a game I picked up off Kickstarter called Crosstalk. Which is supposed to be like Codenames, but like I don't know. It's like Codenames with a twist.
The game that we played, Rob. It's the game where you have the little easel things and you put the cards up, and you're trying to work to put the right cards up, and so your team will pick.
I think so. That could be.
Was Word
Slam.
Hang on.
That was Word Slam that we played. Yeah. That was actually
pretty fun. It at that really bad convention.
Jesus.
Yeah, you don't like that convention? That was terrible.
It was terrible.
Terrible convention. But yeah, Word Slam was
Mega Moose Con convention.
I was just happy that it had, because I had to get people to guess J.R.R. Tolkien, and it was really fun making people go down that path. Yeah, it's not that one. That one. What's all about that game?
So basically, it is kind of like Codenames, but a little bit different. Basically, these are the scoreboards. You have 2 teams. Cool. And you have 2 sort of clue givers. And basically what happens is you give different clues. Some are private clues. Some are public clues. Everything's like on these neat little dry erase boards and stuff. Nice. But you're trying to get your team to guess a word. And your word is the same as the other guy's word. So you're like trying to get cabbage. but you're trying to do it in a way that doesn't give it away to the other team. So you're trying to give them very vague clues in the hope that somebody on your team can make that connection. And there's a couple of different like power-ups and stuff that you can do, or things that you can scribble on private things that kind of make connections a little bit more.
It's definitely not
obvious.
the same as Word Slam, but has very much the same concept where you're both trying to figure out the same word. But in this one, you're putting out different words to try to get them to guess that single word that both teams are trying to guess. So
I mean, this one sort of is that way too, because you can. I think the clues you're supposed to give are supposed to be very short and concise, kind of like Codenames, where it's basically
on
one
the people
word.
that are on your team. So
No.
both people can see the clues that are given?
Yes.
Huh.
So there are public clues. So basically, I can say, okay, well, green, and then my team gets a chance to guess, and then the other team, then they get to go. So it's very sort of a back and forth thing where you're trying to be deceitful but helpful. So it's something to me that seemed interesting, and that's why I backed it. But I haven't had a chance to play it. Like, it's one of those, since it is social deduction, it's like bare minimum 4 people. And I'm just like,
Word Slam is real time against the other players, but
oh jeez,
you can't see each other's words that they're using, but
Okay.
You can hear their guesses. So you're like, what are they guessing over there? Oh, they're guessing these sort of things. Maybe they're guessing. Maybe what theirs over there is like saying something slightly different than what ours is. But it's pretty fun.
Does that have like a slapjack mechanic where when you figure it out, you have to try and slam your hand down on like the middle of the table so other people are just slapping each other?
It seems like it would, but but you like lay all these cards out and you're just trying to throw them up on the easel real quick, so that your team's guessing before the other team guesses. But I had like dead like literature, and then like fantasy or something like that, and then like adventure. And people were guessing like The Hobbit and all sorts of different stuff like that. And then like I had like author out there too. Or maybe it wasn't author. Maybe I couldn't get author. Maybe I was like old man or something because there wasn't an author word in there. So I was trying to get them to guess like J.R.R. Tolkien, but they were guessing all the different characters from Lord of the Rings, which still made me happy. I don't know why. But yeah, it's awesome.
Just the old ones. But yeah,
so are there any honorable mentions from you guys' lists? Like a game that just didn't make your top 10 that you think you'd like to mention? I've got a couple. One game that didn't make my list, but it's very good. I don't know if it'll be on your guys' list, but Ethnos is amazing. Cool little game. Also, a game that I played a ton of. I think I played it before this year, but 5 Minute Dungeon is another great game that I really enjoy. I feel like I've played it out at this point, though, but I still really enjoy 5 Minute Dungeon. And that's a couple from mine. What about you guys? Honorable mentions?
Gloomhaven is on my honorable mention. Only reason is because I've only played it once.
Yeah.
I think I would like it more, but that's the problem. Because the game is just like so flippin' big that I don't know I'd be able to give it the attention that it wanted. Seventh Continent was also one of my honorable mentions. Only played it once, but it's one of those games that I'd probably would want to play more and more and more.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I will say is the Raxon game and Legacy of Dragonhold. I did not put Legacy of Dragonhold in mine just because we did the intro, just because I thought it was good. But I want to see more of Legacy of Dragonhold before I put it in there. I'm still kind of up in the air about not having the dice type of a thing. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I had fun playing with Matt and the guys, so that was fun. So we'll see.
What about you, Matt? Do you have any honorable mentions, or are you just gonna roll with the top 10?
I had one or two, but I forgot what they were, so I'm running through the list really quick to see what they are. Jump Drive.
That was this year? That was
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good honorable mention. I don't know that it would have made my top 10, but I really like Jump Drive too.
See, that's the thing. I debated about putting it at my number 10 spot, but it just didn't quite make it just because I don't think I played enough of it to feel that I have a good
I want to get a
grasp.
copy of Jump Drive. Jump Drive's solid.
Yeah, man. And then Viral.
Nice. Yeah.
I thought was pretty good. It was basically like Blood Rage Light for me. And it was a solid game. It's not one that I'm particularly like, ooh, I gotta buy this, but it's definitely one that I think needs to be mentioned and hailed as being a good.
I still think it's crazy and viral that your units just like always die. They're just dying constantly. That's a good thing, but they're just always dying. Awesome. Cool. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get into our top 10 of 2017. So I'll go ahead and start us off with my number 10 game, and that is Unlock. I really, and I'm just treating this as like the series of Unlock because they're all just the same system and same game as it goes along. If I had to pick a specific one, I really like I think the lab one was just really amazing out of all of those that we played. I think it's like the secret formula is what it's called. But yeah, I really enjoyed. There's these exit games. There's tons of different ones, but the Unlock series I feel like has so much like story and theme that goes into it as you're playing through it, and it's totally a blast. Another thing that made me like love this game is the fact that like I demoed it and have played it like a ton for like other people and like showed other people the game, and I've even gotten enjoyment of just like setting up the game for other people, teaching them the rules to the game, and then watching them play through it. And I just think the game's a blast. I have several other Unlock expansions that I need to play, the wave 2 of them that have come out, but I've only played the ones from the first wave so far. But yeah, Unlock is definitely a awesome escape room game if you're looking for that sort of thing. And it's replayable, which is awesome to me.
Oh, okay. Because I totally forgot about it because I was getting it confused with Exit because I was just like, I just hate that you have to rip stuff up. It's so dumb.
Unlock's the one with just the cards, and you're
right.
reading the cards. It's 100% replayable, and it uses the app to be able to put the stuff up.
Yeah, man.
I'm honestly like, I don't know that I want to play any more of the Exit games just because like those felt like they were just straight puzzle. Like, go to this puzzle, do this puzzle, go to this puzzle, do this puzzle. And with Unlock, it gives you kind of like a story and a flavor as you're going through this stuff. And Exit tries to do that, but doesn't feel as strong as the Unlock stuff does as you're going through.
Well, Unlock also has that thing that I liked about Time Stories, like that first scenario where there's a lot of just picture stuff where you're like looking at it and going, there's something in this, but I need to know what it is that I need to know. Right. And so you're just staring at like a sofa waiting to see like a 7 appear, and you're like, I got it. Here we go.
And it's made by the same people.
Yay!
So that makes sense. So yeah, Space Cowboys made Unlock and Time Stories. Cool. So that's my number 10. What about you, Matt? What's your number 10?
My number 10 is Xenoshift Dreadmire. I didn't realize that it came out, but that is one of the published titles. It's a game I own. I really thoroughly enjoy it. It's basically like Legendary hard mode. It's a cooperative deck drafting game. And it's one of those things where you play it and you feel good for a little bit, and then you start feeling really bad, and then everything just spirals out of control and it gets really bad. I still haven't beaten the game. I want to. It's very fun, but it is very challenging. You always sort of feel like you have a little bit of hope, and then it destroys it immensely. Plus, if you like any of the Starship Troopers or any of that sort of like license, it's sort of like that. It's not as bad. This one to me feels more like the Predator. Because it's just like jungly and swamp stuff, and it's at night and it's crazy. But you know, it's a pretty cool game, and a lot of the art and stuff in it is top notch. So that's my number 10.
Hype.
Sweet. My number 10 is Tournament at Camelot. This is a game that I got to play at the Dice Tower Con in Florida, and as soon as I got done playing it, I ordered it and bought it that day. And then I played it, I think, a couple more times at the con. I'm a big trick-taking game fan. I've been playing those types of games since I was a kid with the family, but I love the theme. of Tournament Camelot. I like the powers that you can get,
Yeah.
so it adds a little bit more to it. I also like some of the numerical stuff that they did in the game. For example, all the health are dividends of 5. I like that you keep going until somebody dies, and that's when you know the game is over. It's a lot of fun for a trick-taking game. For me, as a gamer, it's probably my favorite right now. For my family, not so much. They're still on Rook and other games like that, which are still a lot of fun. But my number 10, Tournament at Camelot.
Tournament at Camelot is great because I hate trick-taking games, but I really enjoy Tournament at Camelot. So I think it's definitely one you should check out, even if you're not normally in the trick-taking genre. Like, all of the special powers and stuff make it really exciting.
Yeah.
So, and if you like trick-taking games, you'll probably just like it even more. Awesome. So I guess we'll go into our number 9s. My number 9 is Near and Far. This is the game from Ryan Lockett, where you're going around the map and doing stories and trying to collect different adventures to go around and beat up bandits, and it has like this continual story and all this exciting stuff. Near and Far is definitely an exciting game, and I actually like to play it more, but I think that'd be a really cool game to try to finish up. I haven't played all the way through it, but it's definitely a cool little game that's pretty chill as you're trying to complete these different artifacts to gain points and finish off the game. So yeah, Near and Far, awesome game. And Frog People,
Frog People.
hype.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt?
My number 9 is Tiny Epic Quest. It is probably my favorite Tiny Epic game. It is really good. It's just Legend of Zelda in a box, or just any sort of game in that style. It's just sit down, go to dungeon, do things, get a rod of fire, go over here, kill a goblin. It's just, there's nothing really to it per se, but it's good solid fun.
Yeah.
Sit down, do your stuff, play the game. Game doesn't last too long, so you don't feel like you're just there going, it's pretty good. It's pretty great.
Nice.
My number 9, Tiny Epic Quest.
Nice.
The exact same reason that Matt said. Out of all the Tiny Epic games, it is my favorite Tiny Epic game. It's because of the components and because of the let's work together but not work together type of a thing that I really enjoy about it. And I really think on this one, I feel like it's the most bang for your buck. Now, all the other games are good games because you're getting a lot of game in a small box. But this one is a lot of game. I mean, it's a lot of game in a small box. And the components for a small game work beautifully. And so Tiny Epic Quest, great game. Great game.
And one of the other reasons I like it is it isn't directly head-to-head, so you're still racing for a goal and stuff, but it's not like
like Kingdoms or something where you're trying to take each other's stuff over.
Because I feel like every time I play Kingdoms, I just get like boxed out immediately, and I'm just like, now I have to sit here and just suffer.
Or like Tiny Epic Galaxies. I like Tiny Epic Galaxies, but as soon as one person gets like a step ahead of you on a planet, they pretty much have it. Like, there's unless they screw up their hand management, they're gonna get it. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, crap, where I feel like you can get lost. Where in this one, somebody may get ahead of me, but I can still claim the stuff as well. Like, I can still get the bonuses if I make the temple that turn.
Yeah, you might not necessarily get the quest, but you could still like complete your legendary items or whatever.
Yeah, I can still complete for my legendary items. So it's not like a total loss or something like that. And what I like about it is we're all affecting each other. Like, if somebody does something, it could affect me in a good way or a bad way. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yep. My number 8 is an amazing
Number 8.
Century Spice Road / Crystal Golem. I love this game. Super amazing game. If you want a like quick filler game with like almost no downtime, where you're literally just playing out cards from your hand to collect crystals or cubes, depending on the version that you're playing, and turn those cubes into other cubes to get the different objectives you're trying to get, whether it's the different spice roots or the golems. Honestly, I like either version of this game. I think the golem version looks really cool if you get offline, but I am totally fine playing the spice road version as well, just because like the game is solid and it's just like playing through the cards super quick, racing to the end. I know me and Matt have had a bunch of these games where it's like super close neck and neck at the end, and it's like whoever grabs the card first and ends it is going to be like the winner. I know we've had several back and forth games of this, and it's just super quick and a lot of fun to play. Like, I like this one and Ethnos both because they have that really quick turns thing, but Century just like does it for me with how you're switching out everything. So Century, Spice Road / Crystal Golem, my number 8. Hype. What about you, Matt?
My number 8 is This War of Mine.
Nice.
That's in my honorable mentions. I want to play that so bad.
Now, I've only played it once, but the game is very compelling. It's just dripping with theme. Mm-hmm. You're sitting there the whole time going, okay, man, this is tense. This is rough. I'm not keen on this situation. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it?
Is it
it's
like
very
Anxiety, the board game?
Oh yeah, basically. But it's like in a good way. Like I don't feel like it generates anxiety where like you go home and you're just like, if I would have done this or that, it would have been this way, you know, or just like you're not like overthinking it or anything. It's very well balanced in that regard. So you feel that anxiety to try and get what you can done as much as you can, but it still is going to hurt, but you're just trying to mitigate the pain. That being said, it's so high up on my list, mostly because that one caveat that I have that you're supposed to pass a book around to all the other players at the table, and it feels like it plays best with a low number of players just because the turns start to get really long and nobody's really controlling anything independent. You're all just doing this colony collectively, which makes for a real sort of awkward experience sometimes, because you're all sort of deciding everything for everybody, and it feels a little weird, but it's a very good game despite that, and it is definitely something that you guys should check out if you get the opportunity.
Boom. I do want to play it. It was on my
I would enjoy playing
want to
that
play.
too. Is it very like solo as you're playing through it, or how many players do you think would play well for that game?
4 I felt like seemed a little
too many
much. I say that, but now that we know how to play it probably wouldn't be so bad. Because you can do some optimizations. Because basically during the nighttime, where you're going out and you're trying to claim stuff, one person has the book, and so they're reading all this stuff out of the book, and that turn could take like 20 minutes. So it's just that one person has that book and is just doing this stuff for 20 minutes, and then they'll hand it off to the next guy, and they might read like 4 lines, and then it says pass the book again, and it's just like, okay, cool.
It's really one of those games you have to like play for the story, pretty much, right?
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just like, I don't know. Yeah, I actually don't. I don't remember what I was going to say. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, hopefully I'll get to play it at some point. That'd be cool. Awesome. What about you, Rob?
My number 8 is Crossfire.
Crossfire.
I want to play it a lot more. Mm-hmm. It would be higher on my list if I got to play it a lot more.
Yeah.
But I love Crossfire. We've talked about it in the past on the podcast. It is a super fast, super fun social deduction game. I love the components. Not the components, the theory behind Crossfire, that I'm looking at cards. My neighbors to the left and right are looking at my cards. Can I bluff them? Can I not bluff them? Who's lying? What's lying? Like, I love it because there are a lot of social deduction games where they're pretty much the same thing. It's just a different theme. But the way that this game plays out is different than other social deduction games. And so it's a lot of fun. I think it's probably I don't know. It's not my favorite social deduction game, but it's a must have. Like, it's a top 3 for me.
Yeah.
So.
And it's so quick. Like you just play the game over and over again. It's one of those games you cannot play just one time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can't.
Awesome. Well, let's go to the next number, which would be 7, right?
Yes.
Cool. My number 7, I already talked about in what we've been playing, but that is Fallout, the board game. I could see this maybe even going up if I played it more. I've only played it a couple times, but I really, really enjoyed the Fallout board game. I definitely think it's one that I'm going to play a ton more of. I definitely want to play through all the different scenarios, and I'm a really big fan of the Fallout theme. I've been talking about how I wanted a sandboxy feeling post-apocalyptic game for like a long time. This isn't really like feel that niche, but it'll tide me over until something along those lines comes out, because there's tons of story and stuff in it, and you get to kind of run around and do what you want. You're pretty guided in like what you should be doing, but it's really fun nonetheless, and feels a lot like Fallout as you're running around. So that's why Fallout is my number 7. I talked about it at the beginning. So Fallout, my number 7. Hype.
Yeah. Okay. My number 7 is a game that we just played not too long ago, but it's Flip Ships.
Hype.
Fun little game. Not a whole lot to it. Basically just Space Invaders meets Quarters. Sort of. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but it's, close enough, I think.
That sounds about right.
But that's basically all it is. You're just flicking cardboard ships, hoping to land on other ships so that you can kill everything and nothing dies. And you're like, hey, this is pretty good. It's silly, it's fun, it's fast.
Yeah.
It's just it's a solid dexterity game. And I think that's, I don't know, dexterities games are my jam. So
I think the cool little powers make that game really fun too.
yeah.
It's like, hey, this, and you can get different combinations of them when you play at different times. So it's like, oh, this time I have the ships that can shoot a little bit further in case I miss, or this time I have people that can reshoot, stuff like that.
Yeah, I always like the dynamic that sort of creates, where you can effectively be sitting there and you're like, man, I missed. And then somebody's like, dude, but your power. And you're like, oh, I forgot about my power. And then you're just like getting really excited. It's like you have something neat that you can do.
Yeah.
So that was something. When I was watching it being demoed at PAX Unplugged, that was the group that were playing, that I was watching, were like going absolutely bananas. It was insane. I was like, dude, these guys are hype. And it was pretty solid. So
I still love that we were like, I didn't know how to do setup, and I was like, oh crap, I have way too many things left in the deck. Oh cool, we're in the last round? Yeah, all we need to do is shoot the mothership one more time, and AJ's like, got this. Boom, done. And we're just like, what? AJ, you're the best. So it was pretty awesome.
Man. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. What about you, Rob? What's your number 7?
Real quick. So if I'm counting this right, if you go to boardgamegeek.com real quick and you put in games that released in 2017, so the range of 2017, 2017, don't put in just 2017, because it'll also do games to come.
Right.
And if you do games that are not expansions, on the page that pops up for me, there's 100 games per page, and then there's 35 pages of that.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Now, granted, like on the first page, I think there's 2 or 3 unlocks. So let's just even cut that in half, right? Still, 100 times 17. That's stupid, the amount of games that have come out this year.
So that being said, this is not the end-all be-all list of the best games in 2017, because we haven't played nearly half of the games that came out in 2017.
It's not even a list of the games that came out in 2017.
We haven't even played 1% of the games that have come out, because you're talking about 1,700 games. If you do, 100 times 17.
And I mean, there could be so many hidden gems in there somewhere from like some unknown publisher that's just like the best game ever. But hopefully that stuff will like rise to the top, and we'll be hearing about it in 2018.
What'd you say your number 7 was, Matt?
Flip Ships.
Flip Ships. Yeah, that was another one of my want to play. I tell you what, man. people are not going to be that impressed with my list of games that I've played this year. I had a baby this year. I'm taking over a company next year, so I've had a lot of training and business and stuff going on.
Hostile takeover?
No, not hostile. But anyway,
I'm not good. Yeah.
my number 7 is actually Viral. The first time we played Viral, it was stupid. Roy screwed up on the rules. I'm blaming Roy.
That happens sometimes.
But we played it, and I was like, eh. And then I played it, I think, 3 more times after that with Roy and some other people, and then other people after that. Really like it. It's not the greatest game, but for a game this year, it's area control. I like the IP or the theme behind it, that it's your body or it's a person's body and the diseases get wiped out. I like the idea of like all the organs connected and you're trying to do what you can to make somebody as sick as possible. I just thought it was a fun, cool area control theme and idea. And it's something that if somebody wanted to say, hey man, let's play Viral, I would sit down and play again. So Viral is my number 7.
Nice.
Matt, it's fun once you get the rules right.
Okay.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot more fun with the rules right.
It's just one of those things that, like, every time I was, like, when I was playing it, I was just like, man, you know what I'd rather be playing? Blood Rage. But I feel that that's just the way I am about
I'm pretty sure that's
games.
still the case, even when you do get the rules right. Cause...
Let me...
Blood Rage.
Blood Rage, in my opinion, is by far a better game.
Yeah.
I love Blood Rage. I'm not, like, on my list, don't necessarily go out and buy all of these games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say the problem with even saying the B word on the show is it's hard for me to find a game on my entire top 10 list that I'd put above Blood Rage. So
yeah.
I mean, I'd rather buy Gloomhaven and Seventh Continent. I'm not going to buy Gloomhaven because it's 198 hours. I think we did it.
Yeah.
To play the game. 198 hours. If you're going to do the whole game.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just know I'm not going to dedicate 200 hours, let's say, to one game. And that's one game of Gloomhaven. And now, granted, that's start to finish. But one game of Gloomhaven is 200 hours. So that's awesome.
But I guess the one neat thing about that is that the play sessions aren't super long. Like, they could be 30 minutes to an hour.
On what? On
Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
The shortest one I played was like 2.5 hours.
Oh.
And, Matt, that was the second mission.
Okie doke.
It's a big game, bro.
What was I going to say?
Number 6?
Number 6. Speaking of Gloomhaven, my number 6 is Gloomhaven.
Hey!
Hey!
So I know that I'm not going to be able to play through Gloomhaven or get any of those millions of hours to happen, but as far as like my favorite games of the year, Gloomhaven definitely fits in that category. I think the card combat in this game is amazing. Just the way that it works as you can like gradually level up your characters and switch out different cards, and the fact that you're trying to play the cards and then figure out ways to get the cards back into your hand, because if you completely run out of cards, then you're kind of like exhausted and out for the battle, and you're working together trying to take out these different opponents. The fact that you have this deck that determines like whether you do like 1 extra damage or you miss on your attack or you do double damage sort of thing is really cool, and you can also upgrade that deck as well. The enemies are all very unique. The fantasy characters are all very unique for fantasy. It's not your standard like elves and dwarves. It's like weird rock creatures and weird like different things and like rat people and stuff like that. It's really cool stuff. I would love to dig more into Gloomhaven, but I think the game itself is like super solid, and so that's why it's on my list, because I really enjoy the mechanics of Gloomhaven itself, and I played it a bunch of times. I actually wouldn't mind like if Trevor brought over his game again, just pick up the same character and just play it some more. So Gloomhaven is definitely an awesome game, and if there's someone out there that needs a game to fill out a lot of time, definitely check out Gloomhaven. So I hope you guys get to play you guys' copies at some point, Matt, because it's pretty.
And we'll see.
If you ever need to bring it over to be taught, let me know, and I can definitely teach through a scenario. So, because I know how to play the game solidly. So
it was one of those things that like I got the box and I was like, this is big.
Another thing I think is cool about it.
Oh boy.
is that you don't necessarily have to have the same people play in the game always.
Go back to
or have
frog
the same
voice.
character. You can just jump people in and out, which is really cool with a scenario game.
Yeah.
Because some of these are like Pandemic Legacy, you like pretty much need the same people the whole way through.
That was literally what Hector was saying to me today. He was just like, man, I just want to play Gloomhaven because it's one of those things that we can do drop in, drop out, so we can play it when we don't have everybody there, and it's fine. Whereas how, like, we all want to play Pandemic, and we're just like, yeah!
Big commitment.
But we just cannot seem to sync up, especially during Q4 right now, so...
And that's the thing. The reason I got away from role-playing games is because it's so hard to keep the party together. And all these giant scenario games, that's what they're going to, is like, you got to keep the same people together. I mean, honestly, I'd probably rather play D&D than any of those if I was going to have the same group every single week. Anyway, good times.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your number 6, Matt? Number 6.
My number 6 is a game Roy has already mentioned, but not in his top 10 list, Ethnos. I really liked Ethnos. It was a good game, very quick, plays 30 minutes, an hour maximum. Just very quick, sort of set collection, put things on board, win board state, get points, win game, do it again. And the fact that you can play with the different fantasy races and that sort of changes the game little by little each time is something that's very interesting. So you could find a setup that maybe you really like, or you could find some combos that are super interesting and OP in its own right, just from kind of casually playing and exploring the game. Yeah.
Hype. What about you, Rob? Your number 6.
Sorry, I'm talking to people in... Sorry, I won't play Champions of Midgard without the new expansions that did it. We're talking in chat. It's going great. Love Champions of Midgard. My number 6 actually is Downforce. I really, really, really like Downforce. Got to play it again with family and friends, and I'm trying to buy Roy's copy. And I also got to play at Dice Tower Con. It was fun. It was simple. It was betting type of who's going to win, just crazy racing game. I did not realize how much I would like the game and the simplicity of the game. And when I think one of the things that makes me like Downforce, this is a game that I am actually trying to buy right now. One of the things that I really like about Downforce is I may not be the reason why I win. Somebody may play a card that benefits them, but it also benefits me as well, because you play cards that allows the different cars to move at different speeds. And some of the cards have like top numbers for multiple other cars. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a simple game. And now that they're talking about doing an expansion for the game, I'm very excited for it. But yeah, Downforce easily for me, my number 6.
Hype. My number 5 is an amazing game. Dare I say an epic game. Dare I
Tiny
say
Epic
an amazingly epic dexterity game. And that is Rhino Hero Super Battle.
What?
Yeah.
That's your number 5?
That's my number 5. Yeah. Rhino Hero Super Battle is awesome.
Spoiler alert.
Stacking game where you're stacking stuff up, putting the little things on the tower, building the tower, trying to get your guys to go up there. It's so much fun because this one instead, like, we loved Rhino Hero. Rhino Hero was a ton of fun. Yeah. But you're just building a single tower, and you're like trying really hard to get that together. The towers you can make with Rhino Hero Super Battle are just stupid. Like, it's really ridiculous, the crazy 3D towers with things all over the place, and you can still put them like massively high. Like, if you watch our review video of it, like, our tower got stupid high, and
did you guys use all the cards?
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
I mean, we had to stand on chairs, and Rob is what, 6'4", 6'6". Yeah. I mean, you're a tall fella. I'm 6 foot.
Yeah.
Roy's basic 6 foot.
Last time I played Rhino Hero, we used all the cards but 2.
That's awesome.
That's how you do it.
So yeah, Rhino Hero Super Battle, amazing game.
Yeah.
My number 4.
I can't wait for Rhino Hero City Battle, in which the board is roughly the size of the Champions of Midgard playmat.
Let us combine by all of our Rhino Hero powers combined. Let's just combine all of our sets and put them all together, and just put all the city tiles together and just build on all of it.
And at that point, I don't even care about rolling to see if you go up. It's just like, let's build a city.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would turn into.
I wonder if that's why I like dexterity games so much. It's basically just like going back to like kindergarten or first grade and getting to play with blocks.
Playing with blocks.
Yeah. You're like, dude, blocks are great.
Blocks are great.
Blocks.
Freaking
and then
junk art,
came out, and you're just like, hey man, this is like blocks for adults. This is great.
All right, Matt, you're number 5.
I'm with you though, Matt.
Yeah, man. My number 5 is Sagrada, a game about windows. And that's a great way to describe it to people who don't know what it is and make it sound very boring. It's basically a game that you are a stained glass window maker, and you have this giant bag of very pretty, colorful dice, and you roll them, and then you end up with just this amalgam of things, and you're trying to build a little stained glass window in front of you that has an interesting board state that sort of plays almost like Sudoku, and then you can't have two of the same numbers or colors beside each other, and so you're trying to place these things very strategically, very appropriately, so that you can get the most points based off of the board that you have, and a secret objective and a couple of public objectives. And it's just super fun. It's a kind of thinky game, but not too heavy. And it plays pretty fast. I mean, 30, 45 minutes tops. And it's one of those things that you pull out and people look at it and go, wow, that's really pretty. What is that? And you're like, oh, man, this is Sagrada. It's great. Come on, sit down, play. And it doesn't take up a whole lot of time, so you can just kind of knock that out and everything's good to go.
Hype.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I'd like to play Sagrada more. I did get to put it on my list because I've only played it the one time, but it definitely seemed pretty interesting, like trying to figure out how to make all the stuff work in that game.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
My number 5 is Century Spice Road.
Hype.
Or more Century Golem, Crystal Golem. A lot of fun. We've talked about it on the show several times. It's definitely the splendor killer for me. I like the simplicity of it. But I also like the quick take that type of stuff. Who's going to get the card? Who's not going to get the card? Type of a thing. But great game, simple game. Century Crystal Golem.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Boom.
My number 4 is a game that both of you have already mentioned. It is my favorite Tiny Epic game, and that is Tiny Epic Quest. At Dice Tower Con, I think I played this game like 5 times. Like, I would play it multiple times in one day. I really enjoy Tiny Epic Quest. It definitely has this feel of press your luck during the night phase, and then also like strategy of like trying to figure out how you're going to move your people. And you're like, okay, if I take this movement, I really hope they take this movement next so I can move that guy there. And okay, I've got to go there and try to see if I can get that quest before that guy does. Oh man, now he already went there. Should I go there anyway, or should I try to figure something else out? Like, it's a very strategic game and running around trying to figure out what happens, but then very much press your luck as the night phase happens, and you're trying to roll those dice and keep going and get your stuff done, but not die at the same time. And the item meeples and the little abilities you get from all of those different items that you can pick up just like are the icing on the cake that make me super excited about this game, because you only get a few items during the game, but like the ones you get are like super amazing powers that are really cool as you slot them into your characters, and you can try to complete specific quests to chase after the certain items you like. So super awesome game, Tiny Epic Quest. I played this over Thanksgiving with my dad. We really enjoyed it. I'm just going to continue to play Tiny Epic Quest because it's a lot of fun. So if you haven't played Tiny Epic Quest yet, play it because it's on all 3 of our lists. Do it.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Matt? Number 4.
My number 4 is a game that Roy has already mentioned, Near and Far. I fell in love with this game immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as I sat down to play it, I was like, "Oh my god, this game is good." It's so good. It's got a book that's a map, and there's so many different stories and interesting sort of character developments, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a neat sort of action mechanic thing, and you have to make sure that you've built yourself up before you go out and explore the world. And there's all these neat cards to explore that you can just buy, and different treasures that do all this thing. And it just, honestly, to me, as soon as we started playing it, it just sort of felt like a wonderland in a box, and it was just so cool. And Ryan Lockett has some phenomenal artwork, and it's one of these things that, like, you just look at it and I'm just like, man, this is pleasant. This is very comfortable. Like, I look at it and it's nothing crazy. Like, I don't look at it and I'm like, oh my god, this is so epic. But it's just so clean and simple and well done. And you look at it and you're just like, man, yeah, this is good. It's a very comfortable game. I feel like it's one of those games that I would bust out.
Do you need Above and Below to play it, or can you play it as its own thing?
You can play it as its own thing.
They're actually very different games.
Yeah.
So,
like, Above and Below is like kind of, it's like tableau building almost, where you're
Above
like,
and Below
build your
feels
thing
more
to do your
Euro-y.
stuff.
Near and Far still Euro-y, but it's a lot more. It feels like you can just kind of do your own thing, you know.
Yeah, Near and Far feels like what I imagine Tales of the Arabian Nights would if it had more gameplay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have nearly as much like story and interesting, like, crazy random happenings like Tales of the Arabian Nights, but the story it does have is generally very well written, and it's very interesting and engaging, and it's just something that when I played it, I just immediately was like, God, I want this game so much. And then the expansion came out on Kickstarter, and then I was just like, here's my opportunity. So it's good. It's a good game.
I would really like to get a copy of it. I think my wife would like to play through it. So.
Oh yeah, I think she would love it. That seems like a very Heather game.
She liked Above and Below, but she didn't like how points based and Euro-y it was. She didn't like that you could win the game based off of just doing the like market and farming that, and not ever doing the story stuff.
That makes sense.
So Near and Far has like more of the story stuff and more just running around doing what you want to do, you know?
Yeah, and you can definitely do market, but it's like, why would you just do the market? Like, leave the town, go explore the world. All this stuff.
It has
and that's on that's on Near and Far.
Yeah. I think it would be great if they came out with a Near and Far like pseudo legacy, where they had a book that you could put removable stickers in, so like each of the maps kind of change based on how you play it. I think that'd be super cool.
It does have like the leveling up of your characters and gaining new abilities and stuff, but it's nothing too crazy, but it's still pretty cool.
Well, sweet. My number 4 is it was somebody's honorable mention, but it's 5 Minute Dungeon.
Nice.
I really like 5 Minute Dungeon. Every time the game comes out, I play it every single time because it's done in 5 minutes or less. It is probably the perfect filler game for me. I love the cards. Mm-hmm. I love that it's real time. I love that we're all yelling at each other and then we're getting mad because we just put down like 4 arrows on a 1 arrow guy. I love the complexity, how it can get harder and harder and harder, or you can play real simple. It is for a real-time game. It is probably my intro real-time game to people because you're all working together rather than a real-time like the Galaxy Trucker where you're going against each other. So 5 Minute Dungeon, a lot of fun. It's a must-have for me. Like, I own it, and I'm happy that I own it. And I play it. I played it several times this year. And we played the prototype version of it last year, so it was weird to me. When I saw it came out this year, but officially it came out this year, even though we were playing a prototype for it last year for review stuff. So anyway, my number 4, 5 Minute Dungeon.
Hype. Awesome.
Top 3, guys. Top 3.
Top 3. Awesome. My number 3 is another game that people have sunk hours and hours and hours into, and I don't know that I'll ever get to that level, but I myself have spent a decent amount of hours playing it, and that is Seventh Continent. This is the adventure game where you're running around on this island trying to figure out what's going on, trying to survive, trying to figure out how to collect food, but then also create items, but also pass these different quests where you have to like go through this action deck, and you're trying to constantly not spend too many cards from the action deck and figure out ways to refill it by feeding yourself and resting, but you also want to use it up so you can make better items and equipment. And then you also have to go around and find these weird things on this island. This island just full of, it feels like you're running around like the islands of Lost or something like that. And there's just weird, crazy stuff going on. You're trying to figure out how to relieve the curse from your characters. Definitely a very interesting, exciting game. Seventh Continent. I mean, I want to play more of it to figure out what that continent looks like. Definitely a super exciting game, and I love the mechanics. I would love to see more games use like similar action deck mechanics and exploring the board. So yeah, that's Seventh Continent. My number 3.
If I had played this more, it easily would have made my list.
Yeah.
But we played 2.5
session.
hours, and we didn't even finish the whole mission. Had I finished the mission?
No, you can't finish a mission in multiple. Like we would probably still be playing that like 4 more sessions to complete that mission, probably, because it took me and Trevor like 5 sessions to complete the first one.
If I had played maybe a couple more times, I would have easily put in my top 10 for a Shadow of War or some Fog of War, like you're exploring the island, you don't know what's to come. It's probably my favorite. And I love the small components. I also love the artwork on the cards. Like, it's a great game. It's something that I'm looking into buying. I'm mad at myself that I missed a Kickstarter.
Matt, did you back it or did you pull out on that one?
I backed it when the expansion came through. So I got the base game and then the big expansion that they were doing, and I wanted to get more, but then it was one of those things that I was still sort of, I was getting, I don't know, very apprehensive about Gloomhaven, because I was just like, oh no.
You have so many hours of games. There's so many hours.
I'm like, I'm never going to play this, and then I'm buying Seventh Continent, and I'm never going to play that either. What am I doing? So I was like, let me not buy in all these like little $20 box things. Let me just go in, base game, expansion.
When we all get old enough, we'll just go to a retirement home together, and we'll just play Gloomhaven and Seventh Continent until we hit the bucket or like die.
Yeah.
But by the time we finish one mission, we'll have forgotten what we did, and we can play it again.
That would be amazing.
Just keep doing like the same mission.
We don't even realize that we hadn't played the mission. We just continually play it over and over.
Like every day, hey, you guys want to play that Gloomhaven game? Yeah, we need a nurse to carry it. It's so heavy. All right, let's do it.
We'll just be like, hey guys, there's this great new game that came out this year. It's called Blood Rage. Let's play.
Right? Look at that.
Can you imagine us like just rickety and like basically dying trying to play like Rhino Hero?
Yes.
Trying to stand up on a chair to like put the thing up, and the nurse is like, "Oh God, what are you doing?" And it's like, "Gotta get to the top, gotta win."
I'd be like, "I could show you a YouTube video of when we reviewed this. I got a review copy of this game," and she'd be like, "What's YouTube?" And I'd be like, "You youngins don't know nothing."
She's just like, "Man, I can't believe this guy still used a phone, didn't have an embedded chip in his head. Like, what's wrong with this man?"
For some chat, I did not back every Kickstarter this year, even though I did spend a lot of money this year on Kickstarter.
Are we on your number 3, Matt? I'm lost of where we are.
Sorry, no.
Oh yeah.
We got my number 3 is not really a full game, but I would feel remiss if I did not put it in my top 10 because it is that good. It is the Champions of Midgard expansions. Like,
easily would have made my top 10 if I was going to include expansions.
Yeah.
100% with you. I will not play the game without it. I absolutely love it. They are the best.
Like, it's one of those things that it's like it adds so much to the game, but doesn't really add a whole lot of weight to it.
Yeah.
So it does a lot of really interesting, neat stuff to the base game, and it's something that I think everybody should definitely check out. And if they make another expansion for it, yeah. And if they make another expansion for it, all I want them to do is add the ability to build buildings like Lords of Waterdeep. That's it. I just want to make property. That's all I want to do.
Well, if they do that, give us like at least 2 more rounds. Make it 10 rounds.
Oh yeah. Or you could make it to do like a certain condition, right? So like 3 conditions have to be met. So like all the trolls must be defeated, or all of the city spaces must be built, or something
I would
like that.
easily play that game just like that. Like even if it was like 15 rounds or 20 rounds.
Epic Champions of Midgard.
We're there for 4 hours, but it doesn't matter because we just rolling dice, sending people to Valhalla, chunking down crazy enemies. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Time. Death and glory and beards. So
you can build a boat.
Yeah, I mean you can. You can. But you don't even have to.
Why build a boat when you can rent a chicken that you can ride across the sea with?
You can build a chicken though. That's what I love.
I build the boats every time I get that yacht. I get that special boat.
They're worth the points.
Oh god, absolutely.
Nice. Definitely awesome.
My number 3 has already been mentioned on Matt's list, and I think it was an honorable mention on Roy's list. I did not expect to like this game as much as I did like it, and Tim just like, oh, this game, this game.
Oh, it's all the way up to your number 3. Holy smokes!
As soon as I played it for the first time, I think that weekend I ended up playing it like 8 more times. Yeah, I'm talking about Ethnos. I really like Ethnos. It's one of those games where it's the ugliest board and components imaginable. And it's not imaginable. There are uglier games than it. But a Cool Mini or Not game looking like that, I think, is sacrilegious. It doesn't fit. It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It's like, anyway. Now that I said how ugly it is, I'm just having all these like flooding memories of like how ugly the game is. But the gameplay is fun. I actually really enjoy the game. Yeah. I also like the game because, and I may have been lucky, but the times that I played the game, only one person, one of the last times I played it, was a little slow. And what I mean by slow is like they took a minute per round or per turn. Like the game is fast. I like fast games. When it's not my turn, I start to think about what I'm going to do next on my turn. So when it becomes my turn again, I can then just take my turn. And so that's one of the things I like about Ethnos is it's one of those games where everybody's doing stuff and it's engaging where I'm paying attention on other people's turns because what they do is directly going to affect me. And so that's what I like about it is you don't get time off. You may not be picking a card and you may not be placing something, but if you're not paying attention, you will not win the game. And so it's a lot of fun. It's an ugly game, but it's a good game. And so my number 3, Ethnos. I did not, when I started to do my list of all the games I played this year, I really tried to knock it down. I really did, but I was like, man, I remember I played this game probably more than any of the other games on my list. Like I played it a lot this year. And I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun game. I couldn't knock it down. So.
Nice.
Boom.
My number 2 is probably one of my most played games this year. I played this game a ton of times. When this game was announced, I was actually kind of upset because I'm such a huge fan of Battlelore, and I knew that it meant the death of Battlelore, basically.
Oh, I didn't put this one on my list.
Like, I knew Battlelore was not even going to get played. Like, it was done. And I was like, man, they're making this game. I'm upset. And then I saw, like, the miniatures, and then I messed around with it at Gen Con a little bit, and I, like, looked at different things about it. I'm like, I got a good deal on the box. Me and Rob ended up playing it, and then we played it. And then we played it, and we've played it a ton of times since. Rob ended up getting some. This is Rune Wars, the miniatures game. I know it's a miniatures game and not necessarily a board game, but it's from a board game company, and I played this game a ton. I've gone to 3 tournaments for it, and I've got my armies. I spent tons of time painting up all the little miniatures. And the thing I like about the Rune Wars miniatures game is just how elegant the dice system is, and I enjoy building the armies. The fact that you're only rolling like 2 or 3 dice each time you roll dice, and then you have these multipliers of how many wide is your unit, or how many deep is your unit, or do they have brutal or precise special abilities. They'll get to like triple the damage that they do if they have like 3 trays across, or they'll get re-rolls on the trays back. And it's just really cool, like playing the game and going through and moving your units around and attacking your opponents. I've had a lot of fun with Rune Wars, and I hope that Fantasy Flight continues to support the game. They've got the store championships coming up and stuff like that, and they're still pushing the organized play stuff. I'll be excited if they continue to announce new things, because I haven't seen like announcement of new units. I want to see the new units for the elves and the Athuk, even though I'm not going to like play any of the other factions. It would be really cool to see them continue pushing the game in the way that they were at first. Hopefully Legion doesn't completely overshadow it, but I've definitely had a blast playing the system that is Rune Wars, and I'm going to continue to play it because it's a lot of fun.
I would have put it in my top 10 if I didn't put any expansions in my top 10. I didn't put any miniature games in my top 10. Or anything like that. I do like Rune Wars. I'm excited though for Song of Ice and Fire. I don't like the movement of Rune Wars. That's like this. That's my number one complaint of the game. Like, even though I went to the tournament with Roy this past weekend, the dice were not friendly. I loved it. It was annoying at the time, but I still like the dice aspect of it. So that didn't ruin the game for me. But the movement is so annoying in that game.
It's really hard, and it's definitely a thing.
It's not even hard. To me, it doesn't make sense. If a bad guy's coming to my left, turn to the left. Nope. You can't just turn to the left. If you do that, you're going to spend a whole turn, and depending on how your dials are, that could literally be all you do for that round. That's the most annoyingest, stupidest thing in the world to me. They're coming right there. Hey, guys, we can't turn. That's so dumb. Just turn.
I love it.
I don't.
And depending on the unit, the more maneuverable they are. So it's different. Different depends on who you got.
Yeah, but still, though, like, none of them just... outside of maybe cavalry, I don't think you can like reposition and then move forward. I think maybe the heavy crossbowmen can. They can. Nope, because I think it's on the same side of the dial. They're repositioning and they're like bunch move. Because on the heavy crossbowmen on the right dial, they actually have a move 1 arrow, which is really nice. Like, they can actually shoot and then move up 1. But man, that game, just the movement. I'm so ready for Song of Ice and Fire to come out. Anyway, it's still a good game.
Nice. What about you, Matt? What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Century Spice Road / Crystal Golem. It is such a solid game. It is so well designed.
Do we have the same number 1, Matt?
Almost probably, man.
It's so good.
It's so good. But Century Spice Road Crystal Golem, like Roy was saying, it's a very good game that you need to put in a filler game, or even if like you don't even know what you want to do, it's a game that you can pull out, play a game, 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how long it takes people to think, and then almost always people are going to be like, you know what, let's just do another. That was easy, it was quick, it was fast, let's do it again. And the thing that I love about it is Emerson Matsuuchi has designed this game so well. Like, the gameplay is tight, it's fluid, it's fast, you barely have to think, everything is clear, easily recognizable. It's very, very good. And I don't know, it is such a good game. Like, I bought it because I really love Emerson as a designer, and I was just like, okay, you know, it's gonna be pretty good because it's an Emerson game, everything's great. And it's just like, okay, this is good, it's fun, it'll be fine. And then I played it and I was just like, dang, all right, this game is great. It's just so...
That stupid song in my head. Thank you, Michael
so
Hall.
Quick.
Sorry.
I don't know. It's a good game.
It is a good game. Did you ever play Splendor, Matt?
I've played Splendor before. I haven't played it with you guys, though.
To me, Century is a Splendor killer. Like, I like Splendor, but if I never played it again, but I got to play Crystal, Golem, or Century Spice Road.
Yeah.
Emerson does say that that he didn't set out to kill Splendor, and he thinks Splendor's a great game, and he's surprised that that Century is good enough to be on the same tier as Splendor, but he's very, very humble.
He is. The
But I
Emerson doesn't try to do. Emerson, I just love that man.
But yeah, I don't know. It just, man, that game is something else.
Hype.
All right, my number 2. Turn around, man. Stupid Michael. Now it's like blaring in my head. I'm excited. Now, sorry, I was gonna start singing again, and I can't even sing good. Y'all don't want that. Freaking my number 2, Godfather. Kumani or not, Godfather.
Oh,
really loved the Godfather. Played it for the first time this year at Kumani or not Con, and bought it. Loved the components. I love the take that. I love the gangster theme in the IP. Even though I'm not like a huge Godfather fan or whatever, like the movies are good, but I didn't buy it just because it was Godfather. I bought it because I don't have like another gangster game. I've got like space games and fantasy games, but I don't have like gangster games. I love the whole suitcase mechanic. Do I want to take a risk and have this money out, or do I want to go ahead and put that money in my suitcase? I love like when your guys die, the game tells you to put them in the Hudson River because they're sleeping with the fishes. Freaking love the game. It's a lot of fun. To me, so close to being my number 1 game of the year. But my number 1 game of the year is just like, it's not close. No other, I don't know. We'll get to it in a second. My number 2, The Godfather by Kumani or Not Games. It's up there. Godfather is up there with Champions of Midgard for me. I'm not a big Euro player, but I would definitely play The Godfather and Champions of Midgard anytime they came out.
Nice.
Boom.
All right, number 1s.
Yay!
Yay!
Celebration noises.
My number 1 is Twilight Imperium 4.
Hey!
Hype! So,
Man,
I was in shock when I got to play this game. I didn't know this game existed. Then I was at work.
No, they kept it secret really good.
I was at work, and someone was tweeting at me saying that they had gone to the Fantasy Flight website, and for some reason the splash page popped up, but like it was like not fully up, so it was kind of like halfway faded and stuff, and I'm just like, what? He's like, I think this is Twilight Imperium 4, and I'm like, is this a troll? What's going on? So I literally like went to Photoshop on my phone and put the contrast way up and brightened it up and was like, holy crap, I've never seen that Twilight Imperium 4 artwork before. So I had like been like telling other people like, do you think this is real? And I had messaged Sam Healy because they had tagged Sam in as well. I was like, Sam, do you think this is real? He's like, no way this is real. I'm like, but that artwork, I've never seen it before. He's like, super fans do crazy things. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't like illustrate fake game boxes and then also make it obscured so you can't see it. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, like the next day it was announced and I was like mind blown. So I'm like, oh my goodness, Twilight Imperium 4, are they going to be showing it off at Gen Con? No, they had it at Gen Con. Not only did they have it at Gen Con, they had tons and tons of it and everybody was buying it. And on top of that, Tom was like, oh man, hey, Roy, you're going to play a game with me and Sam after dinner tonight. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I think you'll like it. I'm just like, okay, that's cool or whatever. And I'm like, there's no way this is Twilight Imperium 4. Like, in the back of my head, I was like, what if it's Twilight Imperium 4? And he didn't tell us what the game was until we were walking in the room with one of the representatives from Fantasy Flight sitting there with the game set up. I'm like, what the crap? So I got to play Twilight Imperium 4 with Sam and Tom and Brian from Fantasy Flight. He, of course, picked the con so he could have tons of money. Obviously, the guy who set up the game was cheating, but no, I'm just kidding. And had a lot of fun playing around with I played the Emirates, or I played the Embers of Muat, which start with War Suns, which majority of my Twilight Imperium 3 game, I banned them because starting with War Suns is kind of dumb. But when he had the races all set up on the table, and like there's one that starts with War Sons, and like they're just letting me pick which one I want. I'm gonna pick the one that starts with War Sons because I don't want them to start with War Sons. But it was a lot of fun. I love how they've changed up the trade and made it more like trade, where you literally have to be beside each other and be like, "Hey man, do you want to trade with me?" and like actually negotiate it out each round. They've made the voting more impactful and more exciting. They've changed up a lot of the race stuff. They made all of the strategy cards actually really exciting. I've been listening to like podcasts about Twilight Imperium 4. There's a podcast called Space Cats Peace Turtles. If you're interested in Twilight Imperium 4, you should go check them out because they literally have they had 10 episodes about Twilight Imperium 4 before they had ever even played the game, talking about all their thoughts on it and stuff like that. And now they have like different episodes about people's stories for the game and all sorts of different stuff. I'm a super fan of Twilight Imperium, so Twilight Imperium 4 is obviously my pick for best game of 2017. Twilight Imperium 4! Ah!
So should we just go at the same time, Matt?
Yeah, man.
Play with blocks. I mean, cards.
Yeah, man. You want to just count out from 3, or what? How are we doing this?
However you want to do it, buddy.
3, 2, 1. Rhino Hero
Super Battle
is so good.
So good.
So good.
As soon as I made my list, I put that down as number 1. I went up from there. I was like, all right, what am I gonna do? Such a good game. So good.
It is. I'm glad you put it on your list, Rob, because it's a return to form for Epic Gaming Night. We're back to praising Rhino Hero all day, all night. That game is the best.
It is. I love how they made it where you can build towers off of towers.
Oh, yeah.
I love how they made it silly where you're actually doing a super battle and you're really just rolling dice. But I don't even care if you're above me or not. It's the fact that now more pieces are moving and putting them down. I love the stupid monkeys. Oh, the monkeys can kill you or they can help you because you can use them as a weight if one side is really light and you need that extra weight. But then if that monkey ever becomes the bottom monkey and then you got to take it off and replace it, oh, it's like murder. It is freaking murder. I absolutely love the game. Last time I played it was actually over Thanksgiving with my wife and with our friends. We laughed so hard, and we were totally screwing each other up. We were like, oh, don't do it. Oh. And they're like, Robert, shut up. And I was telling everybody else to shut up, and I was trying to be all cool. And we literally used every card but 2. And I think it may have been a monkey that messed it up. The person was able to play their card down, but then something shifted when they tried to do something else. But I just love it. It's really close. It probably is my number 1 all-time favorite to dexterity. I think because, especially over the Thanksgiving break, playing the game with my wife and just having so much fun with her. And it's a game if I were to give her a choice between Junk Art and Rhino Hero Super Battle, she would pick Rhino Hero. And that's what gives it the edge, because being able to play games with my family means a lot to me. Junk Art is a fantastic game. But Junk Art, the edition that I like to play, I don't want to play the plastic edition. I want to play the wood edition. So you're talking about $70 versus $30 or $35. And it's Junk Art has got its pluses. I'm not trying to downgrade Junk Art. I absolutely love it, but Rhino Hero is so good. It is a must-have. It is a must have. Even if you don't like board games, just go buy the game. It's that good. It's so fun.
It's just, man, I don't really have words to describe it. It's so good. It's the pinnacle of board games.
It is.
I mean, it's so good. It's just, I don't really know how to say anything other than just make weird noises and contort myself in a strange ball. But it just, that game feels good to play. It's a sheer joy from start to finish. And then when you get done, you're like, hey, man, guess what? Let's do it again. And you just keep doing it until eventually you pass out, because I don't know, it's like a strange, addiction almost. Like there's like the monkeys are actually small sort of elf or like fey creatures that are just singing you sweet lullabies.
Yes.
Actually, you're just stuck playing Rhino Hero for the entire time the game's out,
And you don't feel bad about it.
Eventually what happens is sometimes the cards cover the monkeys up and they go to sleep, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm free, I can play other games now. But you don't want to because it was so much fun.
It is so much
They
fun.
start out benevolent, but you're just like, oh yeah. I also said malevolent, which is not a word because I combined benevolent with.
But you know what? You can do
malicious.
that while playing the game. It's that good of a game.
Absolutely.
You can create your own words.
Absolutely.
It's the apoapsy of the parawaps. It is that good. I freaking love it. And yes, for like our first year of the podcast, we talked about Rhino Hero. The game also does have like nostalgia for me because we loved Rhino Hero so much.
Yeah.
But they really did create such an amazing, epic sequel. Like, I did not think it would be. I thought it was gonna be a great game just because I love it, but I didn't realize how much I was gonna love it, and all the ways that like you can connect. And I love the genius idea of making like the tall towers and then the short towers, so you can try to have that offsetting build.
Oh yeah,
just the simple. My only problem with the game, and it's not even a problem. The only downside I have with the freaking game is the game box is a lot like Splendor. It's a lot of wasted space because it's a huge box. I mean, you're going to get this big box and you're going to think, wow, there's so much game. There is a lot of game per se, but the box is too big for all the components.
Honestly,
the
I wish
box
it was half
is
the size.
as big as the idea that it needs to be, but the components could fit in a lot smaller box.
The box on it kind of like hurts the portability of it. Like that game could be a lot more portable and completely obliterate regular Rhino Hero if the box was just like the size of the floor tiles, or whatever.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah, if I'm ever like going to a group, and like let's say like I'm doing something at church and I'm only bringing my games, I'll put that game in like a Ziploc bag, just so I could have room for other games because it does take up a lot of space. But like. What an awesome game. If your only complaint is, man, the box is too big. No, the game's fine. The components are fine. Everything else is great, but that box is too big. Like, I can't think of another game. Rhino Hero Super Battle is in my top 10 of all time. Favorite games, all time.
That's
such
awesome.
a great game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's
so good.
I don't know that we can have a more glowing endorsement of a game.
For 5-year-olds.
Just go out there. Just go out there and play it. It's not even for 5-year-olds, man. You can play it with anybody, everybody. You can play it with grandma. You can play it in the retirement home.
It says $5.99, and
you can get absolutely
$5.99. I still plan on playing it.
Give it a go. It's so good.
Yeah. And I still tell the story. I'm just regular Rhino Hero when we were playing at Roy's and we turned the fan on and we were like moving our bodies to block the fan.
Or Ryan Ortiz is just going, or is that Matt?
Oh yeah, doing the.
Oh, from Street Fighter.
I was doing the E Honda. And Ryan was trying to play stuff. He's like, dude, stop. And I'm like, I'm not actually doing anything. And he's like, no, you're doing everything.
Yes.
Like, Rob just taunts people.
Oh, it's so good.
I do, because it's fun, because it's like, don't screw up. But now, and here's the problem with the game, is I have bananas for fingers. Like Matt said, I'm a big guy. And so when you're trying to make like these small spaces and then move up your characters, that's one thing I like about Super Rhino or Rhino Hero Super Battle over regular Rhino Hero is I have my own character and nobody else is going to touch my character. So I typically put my character on the outside on the edges.
Yeah.
I don't try to put him in there where my bananas can knock over the tower.
Yeah.
And so I like that. But man, so good. Go get it. Like right now, if you're going to order it on Amazon, try to order it today or tomorrow so it can get in before Christmas. You will not be upset. If you do get upset about it, let me know. I'll buy your copy and I'll find it with
I'll
mine.
do the same.
I mean, I love it. Now, seriously, though, we don't need like 1,000 people saying it. Like, I'm not going to buy 1,000 copies.
I feel like if somebody sold us back 5 or 6 copies of the game, I would be perfectly fine.
We would make that city that we were talking about. We would put all the maps
I would take out all the junk that's in that box that isn't needed, all that wasted cardboard, put all of the stuff in it.
How
fill
many
that box
copies
up,
of
and then
Rhino Hero
play
Super Battle could you fit in a Rhino Hero Super Battle box?
Bro.
Probably. Ooh, God.
What if
that's
we did
4
do
or
that? Like,
5?
what if What if I like put marks on my Rhino Heroes Super Battle stuff, and so like we knew like color wise like which was mine and which was yours.
Yeah, or you
and
can get
we
like
make,
little
like,
sticker
a big
dots
table
or
version
something.
where it like went across, and we try to make like a city.
It would be
We
fun.
need to do that.
We have 3
okay,
copies,
hang on.
right?
Well, hold up. Got an idea. How about everybody brings their own copy, right? And we start building a tower, and then when we get to a certain height level, we have to start like branching out to the other people's towers so that we can fight them.
What? Just make up our own game.
Dude, let's do it.
Now we need.
But that's what's so great about the game
item
is you can
cards
do
that
that.
each of our heroes can have, like different weapons, and
Yes.
they need different range.
I'm probably actually the more that we're talking about, I'm probably just gonna get a second copy, put it all in one box, and then just have like a huge version. So I could do that because I think when you play, you only have like 3 bases to make like even like if you do like a Tetris type of thing where like you wanted to make a crazy L or a crazy like zigzag base, man, like that would be so much fun. I'm doing that right now. I'm going on Amazon right now.
Yep.
Just order another copy. It's so
I may
good.
not order it right now, but
Rob wants it twice.
well, yeah,
The
I mean, it's worth it. And here's the thing, though, like, I'm not just saying it to endorse Hob or whatever, but we will really do this. Like, I could see myself with my friends doing this. I could see with my family doing this. I could see Matt doing this. I could see Roy doing this. Like, that's why the game was #1 for me. It's just, I can't explain enough how great the game is, and it's a kids game. And we'll move on. But anyway, oh, it's $30 right now.
Yay!
Nice.
So
Awesome.
good.
Well, that was our top 10 games of 2017. I did want to ask you guys, what do you hope to see in board gaming next year?
I've got about like, I'm not just trying to say this to be cocky or anything, but I've got like $3,000 in Kickstarters coming in next year.
That's insane.
I'm trying to see Kickstarter come in. That's what I want.
Trying to see times not delayed on your games.
Like, I have
Run through your
13
list real quick. Go.
As of right now, I've got like 13 games coming in from Kickstarter next year. I could do a top 10 list off of those. Unstable Unicorns, I'm not so crazy about anymore. That was just a cute IP, and I was feeling happy. And that was like the cheapest Kickstarter I spent. And that was only like $40. But I've got some Kickstarters, y'all. Like, I can't tell you how excited I am for Joan of Arc. Like, the dragon with the meteor
full game
wingspan.
of Rising Sun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for Rising Sun. I mean, there's so many. I'm excited for the Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Lords of Hellas because I got a bunch of stuff with that. Lords of Hellas looks awesome with the components and you're building the monuments for the gods and stuff. I'm excited for the Village Attacks. I know you guys didn't back it, but your monsters and the village is coming. It's like you're Frankenstein and you got to defend your castle from the villagers. It looks great. Like I've got a bunch of games.
I do want to say that if it were an actual 2018 game, Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea probably would have been my like #1. Like maybe even more than like I don't even know. Like I love Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. Like it is ridiculous how much I love Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. And I've played it so many times this year. So like the fact that it's like, oh, you can't put that on your 2017 list. It's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's definitely not a 2017 game. It's a 2018 game. But I played it a stupid amount of times this year. Like
I'm excited for Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. It would have made my list as well.
Yeah.
And Adam, I love the idea of making a shirt. I've got bananas for fingers. If that shirt is made, I will buy it and wear it when I play that game.
Nice.
Anyway, there's a lot of games next year I'm excited about.
Yeah.
The problem with this industry is it's addicting. Like I've got really good games that I really like this year that are still in shrink that I want to play. Well, it's hard. I mean, if we're just being honest, like when you run your own business and you've got a family and you've got jobs and then you've just got life and you're tired and your stuff like that, you know, it's a lot, but I love it. It's my escape, and I love board games, and so fun, man. And I love the interaction. I love that, like, our stories are mannerisms. Like, I'll never forget Rex when Roy screwed AJ, and AJ's face the whole game was just like, Like if Purge was real, Roy, if the Purge movie was real, I could see AJ coming to your house that year and purging you. Not the family, not Scotty or Violet, but AJ was just going to go ham on you, bro. I mean, it was so awesome. It was so great. And then his face the whole time, he was just pissed, and he's whispering to me. He's like, "Man, I can't believe this, man. I can't believe all this happened, man." He told me we're fine. Oh, you're gonna betray me like that? Gonna betray me like that? Okay. It was so great.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Lost in Space.
That better
come out next year.
They said, and this is Jerry Hawthorne. You can go back and listen to the episode.
I did. I was.
Oh, yeah. You listened to it? What was the title of it? It was like G7 or something weird, or something
G20.
G20.
Yeah.
It was G20, and he said that the next Crossroad Games is coming out next year because we asked him upcoming stuff that he could talk about. He didn't say the Lost in Space one. You and I were like, "Oh, the one Lost in Space." He said, "Yep," because then I voted for the Underground thing. And then like, I think shortly after that, or even during the interview, I'm texting Matt. Matt, it's coming. It's coming next year.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, next year.
Man, also, we got the Spectre Ops expansion. We got the Deception expansion.
Super stoked for Spectre Ops expansion.
Oh, Spectre Ops is going to be
awesome. Have you guys looked at those minis? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the new Deception Murder in Hong Kong expansion is supposed to come out.
So good.
I mean,
so good. I'm excited for that game, Tokyo Jukatu. I know nobody else is, but man, that game is my bread and butter.
I know. I'm really sad because Stuffed Fables they were hoping would come out before
miniatures.
Christmas.
Your Mech Warrior miniature game you got coming in, Matt?
Oh, yeah. Giant Killer Robots should be
Giant Killer Robots. That game's look awesome.
So Stuffed Fables they were trying to have before Christmas, and Jerry really wanted it before Christmas. But I think it's going to come out like... I think it's literally going to come out like the 30th.
First week of January.
Or
I have not gotten an email for it yet saying that it's shipped. I pre-ordered Stuffed Fables like while Jerry was talking.
Oh, nice.
I did. I mean, I've got the receipt online, but I haven't gotten any type of email yet. I'm excited for Stuffed Fables because that's a game I think here in the next year or so I'll be able to play with my daughter. Because even tonight we were playing board games. We were playing Animal Upon Animal. Mm-hmm. And we were playing Monza, the little kid, race car game.
My kids love Monza.
Yeah, so I mean, it's fun. See, that's what I love about board games. It's like the interaction, and that's one thing that I like about my group of friends. I can be a jerk to my group of friends, but they know that's not who I am as a person. We're just being silly playing a game.
Yeah.
Like, I like all the social stuff where just being around people and feeding off of their energy and stuff like that. It's a good time, man.
Nice.
Before the world blows up, we need to play more games.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff that blows up, one other game that I wanted to mention that I'm really excited for is Countdown Action Edition. The game for I was literally talking with Emerson about it while we were at PAX Unplugged because he got to play it and he was like, "Dude, you guys are gonna love this game because it's so Countdown Action Edition." Do you remember Lindsay, the girl you used to play Ashes with? Yeah, so she works at Dogmite now, and this is a social deduction game that she made. But it's basically like 1980s action movies, so you have like crazy plot twists and like super over the top dramatic, all this nonsense. And so it's social deduction, but it also has aspects of like literal role playing where you're like supposed to like take in and kind of embody your character and be like, yeah.
Is it coming out or is it a Kickstarter?
I think it's a Kickstarter that's coming out sometime next year.
Yeah.
Did it already run? Did the Kickstarter already run?
No, it hasn't yet.
Okay.
It's supposed to. I can't remember when she said it was going to start, and I feel really bad about that. And the art on it is crazy cool. Like, it reminds me of like Dinosaur Island, and that it's like that super neon and like totally like retro 80s feel, and it's just So that game's probably one of the ones I'm most excited for because it is.
If it comes out on Kickstarter, let me know. I mean, I know we'll talk about it in the show, but let me know when it comes out. That sounds like a lot of fun, especially if the fact that it can be an RPG sort of, but it's also a social deduction game.
Yeah.
Like, I like that when you get into character. Like when we were playing Legacy of Dragonholt, doing the whole stupid voices. It's just like, to me, it's a must. Like, you're playing a game, just be stupid. Like, I don't care. You guys know I don't sound like that. Man,
Awesome. Well, I guess we
It's
should
great.
close this thing out.
I
Thanks,
just wish
everybody.
it was like 2018 already, so we could be playing these games. But like summer of 2018,
Yep. So it's super chill, low key.
right?
Nothing's going on.
Thanks, everybody, for checking out our top 10 games of 2017. We stream the podcast live Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to check us out there at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. I want to say thank you so much to all of our amazing patrons. You guys are amazing, and thank you for supporting the show. And we also want to thank our patron of the week. Do you think you're ready for that, Rob? Or
Hold on one second. I'm just
if you ever want to support us on Patreon, you can check us out at patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night. And your support there helps to pay for the web listing fees and all the different things that go into making the podcast happen.
our patron of the week. First of all, Michael Hall, stop it with the turnaround stuff. It went away and now it's back. Turn around every now and then I'm gonna stop singing because it's terrible,
Oh, man, I thought you were just gonna go right into the patron of the week from that.
bro.
That's
You know
okay.
what? You know what? You know what's so great about the patron of the week though is there is no turning around because you're not getting lost, because our patron of the week won't let you get lost. Our patron of the week, he is my light tower in the middle of the hurricane that life throws at me sometimes. He is that calm, still, quiet voice that I need to hear when I'm just feeling down and out. He is that protector. He is that guardian. He is my if I was an animal and I would be a sheep, he would be my shepherd. That's right, Ken Shepherd, everybody. Shepherd, I appreciate you, kind sir. I appreciate you putting up with me. You can direct me and guide me through everything. You want me to make financial decisions? Boom, tell me to do it. You want me how to raise my children? Boom, you tell me to do it. I feel like I can trust you. I feel like you would not steer me in the wrong way. And I feel like if you do, I have an easy way out because I'd be like, Ken told me to do it. So, Ken, we greatly appreciate you putting up with us. You are my Bethlehem star. You know, we're talking about Christmas coming up. You are my guiding light. You are the my track and the way that I'm going to go. I just love you so much. And I don't have to turn around. I don't have to turn around when you're around because I'm only following you. I'm only going to turn if you're going to turn, but I'm never going to turn because I'm going to come around you again. You're a beautiful person. You're crazy for putting up with us. But we thank you. Yes. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for all that you continue to do. And let's play games, man. If you guys are ever at cons with us or you ever see us around, you're ever in the area or if we're ever in the area, hit us up on social media. We usually put down where we're going to be. Let's play games together. I would love to play games with Ken and his group or anybody else. It's a blast. We're crazy in real life as well. So like what you see on the show, that's a lot of like how we are. We're bipolar, emotional, crazy, weird people.
Live, so
some episodes were really great. Some episodes
see.
Matt's really lonely. Like I'll never forget that one episode where we're talking about playing with our loved ones, and Matt's like, "I'm alone." You know how you're not alone, Matt? Because Ken Shepherd won't let you be alone. Ken Shepherd, he'll leave the 99 to come get you. He will leave the 99 sheep to come get you, Matt. You will never be alone again.
Oh man!
Kittens don't age in Ken's house. That's right. They are kittens forever, and he herds those kittens. Who can herd cats? Ken Shepherd can herd cats. That's what Ken can do. I can't herd cats. My daughters don't even listen to me. They just walk in the other room and ask their mom the same question. So I just need your help, Ken. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. But and let me say another thing. Kids are mean sometimes. I love my daughter, but she is too honest. Don't tell me Daddy needs to lose weight. You know what? It's been a rough year. I've worked really hard. I enjoy Chinese food. I eat a lot. Get off me, daughter. Ken, come help me raise my children. You'll be my partner. Anyway, we appreciate you guys. You're the best. Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much to all of our patrons for supporting us on Patreon. And if you want to support us again, make sure to check it out, patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night. Also, make sure to hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. We're always posting things we're excited about and board gaming over there. And I do want to make an announcement. The Dice Tower is having their Kickstarter coming up soon. But an awesome thing about that as well, to support and help them with views, because I know like the Dice Tower is probably not going to get that many views, but me and Rob are going to go on there to help support their numbers and views, you know. So they are going to have a marathon of live gaming for 30 hours for their Dice Tower Kickstarter, and me and Rob are going to go down there and try to be a part of their thing, so make sure to check that out. We'll hit you guys up with the times and the dates when that stuff's happening.
I don't think I'm lying when I'm saying this. Our segments will probably be the best to watch, even if we're playing the dumbest games in the world.
If you've seen our Roy versus Rob videos, it's basically going to be like that times a million. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, it's going to be a blast, and the fact that I'm going to go play with games with people I don't have to see again, so that means I can be extra weird. Like, I will, when I leave, they'll be like, man, is he okay? Is he okay?
Dude, man, can you imagine? Like, because they play a lot of social deduction games on there. Like, it's going to be fun.
I hope I have a connection with somebody that we're playing there, like I do with Hector, where I just all of a sudden it just clicks. I know their soul. I know their social security number. I know their credit card numbers. I know who their past lovers are. I know everything. There's just something about Hector. If I could connect with somebody like that down there, that would be the craziest, most awkward thing ever. And to catch that on camera would be priceless.
Nice. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thanks so much for chat being amazing. And, guys, hit us up on YouTube while we're streaming these live on Tuesday nights. It would be awesome to talk with you guys in chat. You guys are amazing, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yay.
Yay.
Adam Sparks is the best.
Hey, are we still on live?
We're currently live. What,
the show's still going on?
You want me to click stop?
Yeah, I'm letting you know. I'm. Well, I mean, you can. It's nothing huge news or anything like that. You may want to cut this out of the podcast.